have decided to do potentially a bad thing. I'm gonna vlog reading these books that I think I'm gonna hate, because I think that will be funny, watching me yell and scream. I have decided the first one that I'm gonna attempt to read is The Help by Katherine Stockett, because I feel 100% confident this is gonna be a DNF. I'll be surprised if I finish more than one chapter. And I just looked at the Goodreads. First of all, I mean, I don't want to talk trash on anybody, but someone who I thought had like good opinions on books gave this book 4 stars. And I'm like, what? And then I saw Dee commented on their review of the book, and it just like, her response to that filled my heart with so much joy. And then I looked and Dee gave it 1 star and Mel gave it 1 star. And I'm like, yes, okay. That checks out with what my preconceived notion of this book is. I read the first chapter, or not the first chapter, or the first paragraph already. And I just like, I don't know what possessed this woman to think it was appropriate for her. I just like can't stand certain things. And like, I mean, one of the reasons that I read, what is that book by Stephen King, the big one, The Stand. There is an elderly Black woman character in the book, an elderly Black Southern woman in the book. And the second he started writing from her character's perspective with her dialect, and I'm going to use quotes again, because like, what are you doing, Stephen King? I set the book down, and that's like the point at which I set it down and was like, not for me. But then I picked it up and finished it, like, you know, because I don't know why I feel compelled to read Stephen King's books, and I don't feel compelled to read Katherine Stockett's books, but that's just how it is. And it's the same kind of thing where it's just like, what is this? I just, it's painful. It's really painful. And then I like went to the very back, and there's like a little note from the author about like how she got along so well with her like Black nanny. And I'm just like, what? So yeah, we'll see. I'm like almost crying because out of confusion. Again, when was this book written? Like, I feel like 2011. Is that right? 2009. I just don't think that's long enough ago to excuse this. Like, if this was written in the 90s, I would understand. I mean, I still wouldn't like it, but I would understand. But 2009? Is that an appropriate time for a white woman to be trying to write? I'll stop right now. But again, I've read 1 paragraph. We'll see. I'm going to like get ready for bed and then try to read this chapter before bed, because I've read nothing today. It's I'm missing my Fitbit. But it's the first of the month, and I'm already way behind on my reading goal. But if I DNF this book, I'll be ahead of my reading goal. So even more of an incentive. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I like looked more on the Goodreads. And actually a lot of people, it only like, when you go on the page for the book, it only shows you like 3, I think, reviews. And there's actually a lot of people that I know and like a lot that have given this book 4 or 5 stars. So I just want to preface this whole thing by saying, I'm not coming after anybody. You do you. I don't care if you like a book or not. I just don't think I'm gonna like it. And I cannot. It is really painful for me to read a white person try to do that very specific, you know, like Black Southern dialect. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Well, it's a DNF for me. I just am not interested. Okay. I didn't even finish the first chapter. I skimmed the first chapter. I read through the first like 4 pages and then skimmed the rest of the chapter. And this just feels to me like it kind of reminds me of in Beloved how there's the white people in that book. So, you know, there's slave owners, like part of the book takes place during slavery. And there's like the good slave masters, you know what I mean? Where like, I feel like it's trying, this book to me feels, again, like a woman who, and I don't want to be rude, and, because, you know, whatever, but I'm punching up, right? So who cares? But it just feels like, not white savior complex or whatever, but like, I'm a good white person. I'm the white person that's nice to my maid, my black maid. I'm the white person who loves my black maid and who thinks the black maid is part of my family. You know what I mean? Like, is that how it works? Absolutely not. So it just makes me uncomfortable. I feel like the dialogue or the dialect, I mean, it's like in her head. So you know, it's from this black maid's perspective, I think. Abilene. So like that alone makes me cringe, and it's like pulling me out of the book, even if I were able to get like immersed in it. And again, it's a lot of like, it feels to me like the author is patting herself on the back for being like such a great white person because she loved her black nanny. Like, that's just how it feels. And I'm sure she did love her black nanny, but you know, it's not a good time. And I totally acknowledge and appreciate the fact that like this was how things were. And so I'm not trying to like say I don't want to participate in any media that depicts things that happened that make me uncomfortable, but I just would rather not. This just feels a little bit too like, congratulate me for being a good white person. And I just don't have the time for that because there's better things to read. I'd rather read about white people being terrible. Except, I mean, there's like one really terrible white person in this book. I mean, they're all probably terrible, but so that's not the kind of terrible. I want to like, I like a good, you know, just not this. This isn't it. This isn't it for me. So I did actually try. I read, you know, 5 full pages. Good for me. I'm proud of myself. I am going to be giving this away. I'm going to be probably putting it in a little free library because I don't know what else to do with it. I had a particularly trying night at work, okay? So forgive my look. I mean, I know I always look a little bit like a mess, but anyways, I started The Alchemist and I'm reading the introduction and I'm already like, what is this? The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. And I feel really bad talking so much trash because some people, I mean, obviously, I think millions of people have read this book and enjoyed it and read The Help and enjoyed it. So I want to, excuse me, my alarm went off. I feel really, really bad, especially with The Alchemist, not really The Help, but just because of the way this is written, it just seems like I can see people feeling a lot of like, and I don't know what this book is about, but like he's talking about, you know, how, you know, what is a personal calling? There are 4 obstacles to like, you know, go after our dream. The first one, we're told it's impossible. Like, it just feels like self-helpy and like I don't know. It just has that very specific vibe. And again, I'm just in the introduction and I was about to skip the intro, but I was like, maybe if I read the intro, I'll DNF the book sooner. So that's why I'm reading this. But it just, I don't know. So it makes me feel bad because like I'm really snarky, I think, sometimes, and a little judgmental, a lot judgmental sometimes. And so I feel really bad because like, I hope y'all like know and assume that nothing that I'm saying is like negative towards people that have read and enjoy these books. I just have a different opinion. And my opinion is that these books are stupid. So yeah, we'll see. Again, I'm just in the intro. I just don't think that I'm gonna make it that far into this one either. We'll see. Well, I really was like, hey, maybe I'm just gonna accidentally read this whole book because it's super easy. You know, it's really, really basic. And it's not that bad. Like, I mean, I'm not finding anything spectacular about it, but it's not that bad. I'm on page 22 and nope, no more. He's just met some kind of king of Salem or Salem. I don't really know how to pronounce it because I don't really understand where that is or where he's supposed to be from. But yeah, all of this personal, personal legend, and you're not afraid, and you earn everything, and blah, 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 and you know, who cares? I really was almost also gonna like hate read this. Like I was hoping I would hate it from like the first minute, but like in a more fun way, you know, like The Help. I hate it, but it's not very fun to hate that book. Like I don't feel any pleasure in hating. I mean, maybe a little. Anyways, I was hoping that I could like hate read this and talk a lot of trash and like actually finish it so that I could, you know, talk about why it's trash. But now that I'm reading the words, it's just, life is too short. I made it 22 pages into this one though, so I'm beating out The Help. The Help, I think I only made it 5 pages into, so actually I'm going to double check because I am curious like which book I'm going to read the most of. So yeah, I'm not sure which one is going to be the next one that I'm going to attempt to read. I'm going to guess Rules of Civility. I think that one I'm for sure not going to like. So I'm going to try Rules of Civility next. But yeah, I just, you know, all of this, like, you have to search for your meaning and fate is not controlling you and you have your own destiny and okay, that's fine. Go away, please. That's how I feel. Like, bye, you know? Bye. I just read a few reviews of The Alchemist on Goodreads, and I'm very pleased that I am not going to finish this book. Mercedes one is, like, super good because, you know, Dee Dee responded to it, Nicola responded to it, like, a bunch of people responded to it, like, basically saying, yeah, this book is trash. And it makes me so happy. Like, it fills me with a lot of joy watching other people not have the same opinion as me, but I think, like, dislike something. Why is that? I think it's because it's just, like, so boring for everyone to like the same thing. So I find it really fun when people have differing opinions about things. But, yeah, I need to go back and check to see if, like, I follow anyone that gave it a high rating, because all I saw was a few negative ratings of it, giving it, like, 1 and 2 stars, which, again, makes me, like, more pleased than it should probably. Sorry for being a hater. That's me. Hey guys, I'm hopping into bed. It's the 27th, and I have, like, not been doing very good at, like, my Sucky September, and these are books that, like, I need to find out if, at least if I'm gonna, sorry, I just got a text message. Anyway, so I think yesterday I started Rules of Civility, by Amor Towles, and I don't hate this, actually. It's giving me a really, I don't know what the right word is, but because I can't be nostalgic for a time and place I did not live, but it's kind of, you know, like the movie Midnight in Paris, these people that have, like, this kind of, like, feeling, and I know it was, like, during the Depression, but I can just, like, I'm, like, there in the place, so, it's good enough for me not to DNF it after, I think, this is the furthest I've made in any of these books. I mean, granted, it's only number 3, but I'm 36 pages in. So I'm going to keep reading it. I do think that I'm going to regret that I'm going to keep reading it, but I'm going to keep reading it. But right now I'm going to move on because I want to get rid of some of these books. So I'm going to attempt to start Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. And I'm already annoyed. Ugh, God. Because like at the very beginning it says like translator's note, but it's like Arthur Golden is not a person that is translated, so I'm confused. I assume this is a fake person. I don't know. I'm just like, or maybe it's like the person that translated like her life for Arthur. I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to this at all. I need to learn to look in a mirror before I start recording. So it's technically October 2nd, and I technically did not get to all the books in my Sucky September TBR, but we're turning it around. It's the start of Oh No October. So I am going to, I just like don't feel like setting up my ring light or doing any of that stuff. So I'm just going to like mention briefly I'm just rolling over the books that I haven't finished. Hold on one second. Actually, I do need to get some things. Okay, I will say, I guess the benefit of a ring light is that I don't have to hold this freaking camera and that there's better lighting than this trash. But I forget if I mentioned that I actually wasn't hating the rules of civility. I think I did mention that already, so I won't really talk about that. So I haven't DNF'd it yet. I don't know if I will. I'm on page 36, which is not that far, so there's still time for things to turn around. So I decided to start on Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden, just because I was like, that's going to be a definite DNF, because who do you think you are, Arthur? This is actually surprisingly not terribly written, but who do you think you are, Arthur Golden? So I'm about 12 pages in. I'm going to give it to I'm just going to give it to the end of the chapter, which is like 5 more pages, just to see if there's any reason why I should continue with that book, but I don't think so. And again, I wouldn't say that it's for any specific reason, because it is technically, the writing is fine. That's fine, but I just like don't want to read a book written by a white man, like who basically plagiarized a woman's story. Like it just fills me with a rage. So I don't know. I might have like read and enjoyed this book in high school and thought it was like really interesting, but I just don't know how you can't unlearn something like that. And I just like don't have time, because who cares what, you know what I'm saying? Like why do I need to read his book? Like, what's so great about him? So anyways, the books that I didn't touch are The Beginner's Goodbye by Anne Tyler. Also, I'm feeling kind of a theme about the rest of these books. Gilead by Marilyn Robinson, and then Actress by Anne Enright. I feel like I'm being kind of a woman hater right now. Whatever. So then I'm adding two books to that pile. The first is My Name is Lucy Barton by Elizabeth Strout. I thought Olive Kitteridge was just nonsense. I did not like it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll like this. And again, I am giving all of these books my best shot, I promise. And then Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. I mean, just the fact that it's Ishmael, an adventure of the mind and spirit. Yeah, we'll see. I am going to try to read the ones I didn't, or like, you know, I'm going to go for the ones that have been on this list longest. So yeah, so that's Oh No October. Oh no. I hope it's not terrible, or I hope it is terrible really fast so I can just say goodbye real quick. The worst would be if a book tricks me into thinking that it's good and I make it like 100 or 200 pages into it and then hate it, which is kind of what I think is going to happen with this one. I think that it's tricking me and that it's going to turn, like I'm going to turn on it and it's going to be like at a point in the book where I'm just going to be like, wow, that sucks that I read so much of it. But I do have to give it the best chance that I can. So I will catch you guys later.